Hey, what's up everybody? It's Matt Cama, founder of Total Body Transformation Camp. And in this video, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm on my iPhone right now in my car. It doesn't look too clean right now. The mats are everywhere. I was just holding a boot camp. And I want to share this quick video about the psychology behind getting through injuries. Maybe right now you're going through an injury. It's a small injury or a big injury. I don't know what kind of injury you're going through right now. It could be as shin splints, or it could be a broken arm or a broken bone. It could be a bruise. It could be a sprain. It could be whatever. You tore a muscle or something like that. And it's taking you out of training, it's taking you out of life, it's taking you out, and it's hurting other areas of your life, not just your health and fitness. I want to show you the psychology behind getting through this. And the only reason why I'm making this video is because I'm going through the experience right now, and I've learned a lot of lessons, and I want to share it with you all. It may be even not even going through an injury right now, but even if you're not going through an injury, this is going to help you because it's inevitable that some challenge is going to come up through your body transformation if you're training. Unless you got a really good coach. So I want to share with you first of my personal story that's just happened in the last 2 weeks, and I'm sure you're going to be able to relate to it if you are going through an injury. You'll be able to relate to my pains and struggles right now. So 2 weeks ago, right, here I was, woke up early in the morning. It was a Monday morning. I was pumped up for the week, had my goals set for the week. I was ready to go. And it was about 7 to 8 a.m. in the morning, and my little niece was over. Her name's Ariana. And I was just in a happy mood, and I was just dancing around with her, right? She was on the ground, had her arms up in the air, and I was just dancing around. And all of a sudden, my back gave out. And I just fell down to the ground in pain. She was looking at me like she killed me or something like that. And I was in the fetal position for about 5 minutes straight, just laying there in pain. And no one else was home, right? And I remember after that, I was just like in so much pain. I just remember, because I've had this injury before on my back, and it's not a good experience. If you've ever had back pain, you know what I'm talking about. And after that, I was in bed for 3 days straight, not able to work, not able to move, not able to cough. If I coughed, it felt terrible. It felt like I was getting stabbed in the back. If I laughed, I felt like I was getting stabbed in the back. And when that happened, right, the very first night, I was in so much pain. I didn't even know this was possible. I was in so much pain that I was throwing up. And I threw up about 5 to 6 times, just like time after time. And because it hurt if I laughed or coughed, and when you're throwing up, you're all over the place, right? So I was moving all over the place. My back was going everywhere. And I was throwing up, and it just felt like I was getting stabbed in the back at the exact same time. And it was just such a bad, terrible experience that I wouldn't wish anyone to go through. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone, that type of pain. And I learned a lot how getting through an injury isn't so much about the physical ability. It's more about the psychological and the emotional ability, about being persistent and being patient as well, which I'll talk about. So whatever injury you're going through, I want to share with you a couple of lessons that I learned. The first lesson that I learned is to adopt those 2 principles on being patient, the 2 P's, being patient and being persistent. Because whatever type of injury you're going through, maybe it's a short-term injury or a long-term injury, one of the key things you're going to need is persistence and patience, especially patience. You know, right now, I haven't exercised in 2.5 weeks, and it's getting to me because I'm working with a specialist right now, focusing on where this injury came from, and focusing on getting myself structurally aligned, stretching out those muscles that were tight, working on my core a lot more, because that's where all those injuries came from. That was the root cause of where that injury came from. It didn't happen from me, playing around with my niece Ariana. And it was a root cause of just not stabilizing certain muscles and doing things correctly, and I paid the price. So being patient is a key thing, because the specialist told me, Matt, you're not allowed to exercise until I say so. It's been 2.5 weeks. I just came back about an hour ago from him, and I asked him, can I exercise? And he says, no, definitely not yet. So we're working on these boring things, like I'll be honest, it's pretty damn boring, but it's essential for me to go through, and it's essential for me to get to where I want to get to in my health and fitness goals. So being patient, just being able to go, you know what, it's going to take some time in order for me to get through this injury. And the best metaphor that I can give you in order for you to be patient is to think of yourself like an elastic band. Let me ask you a question. In order for an elastic band to go forwards, what must it first do? It must first go backwards, right? So I want you to think of yourself like an elastic band. In order for you to go forward towards your health and fitness goals, whatever goals you have set for yourself, you must first go backwards. And what I mean by going backwards is really learning from what is the root cause of this injury. Maybe it could be from a sport. If it's from a sport, then maybe you need to learn about, okay, in order for me to prevent this injury from happening again, what do I need to really make sure that I'm doing, right? Or maybe you also hurt from doing things incorrectly, like me, or not stabilizing certain muscles. Really making sure that you're going back before you go forward. And it's going to take some time. That's why you're going to have the persistence and patience together, because the persistence side of things is just being willing to get through this injury and knowing that, look, you're going to get through this injury, but it's going to take some time. Having that kind of persistence on just doing the things every single day, whether you like it or whether you don't like it, just doing it. That's been a key thing. The stretches are boring, the exercises are boring, not really what I'm used to, the high intensity kind of stuff, but it's a lesson, right? So that's the first thing I want you to adopt. Being patient and being persistent. Think of yourself like an elastic band. In order for you to go forward, you must first go backwards. Same thing with cleaning your room sometimes, right? In order for you to clean your room, sometimes you got to mess the hell out of the thing in order for it to be clean. That's the first thing. The second thing I want you, that I'm going to invite you to adopt, is the whole belief system and the positive, empowering belief system that life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. One of the key things that I truly believe, that everything is guided. Everything that I go through is life constantly happening for me, not to me. You know, and one of the things that's going to help you really believe that is finding references, the first thing, to support that belief, but also asking yourself empowering questions, you know, because everything that you go through is just a lesson. Like, I'm talking about the painful things. It's just a lesson that is essential to your growth in health and fitness or in some other area of your life. And one of the best things you can do is ask yourself empowering questions. When this injury first happens, I was asking myself disempowering questions all over the place. Why does this always happen to me? Why again? Because this is the second back injury that I've had. It's happened before. I was asking myself, why again? Why right now? I'm the healthiest, the fittest that I've ever been. I'm feeling good. It's the start of the week. It's a Monday morning, and then this happens. I'm not allowed to work, right? So I was asking myself all these disempowering questions, and ask and you shall what? Receive. So here I was asking myself disempowering questions, getting disempowering answers, which wasn't making me feel good at all, which was making me feel emotionally drained. So I said to myself, I became conscious of all these questions I was asking myself, and I said, hold up, what's a more empowering question that I could ask? And then I asked myself, okay, Matt, what's not perfect yet? And I said, okay, what's not perfect yet is that my body isn't structurally aligned. My core is not as strong. And then I asked myself, okay, well, what can I learn from this experience? And I said to myself, okay, I've learned a few things. One, in health and fitness, and also my business as well. I learned that, okay, yep, things aren't perfect yet. That's one thing that I've learned. I've learned that this is essential to my growth in health and fitness, because in order for me to go to where I want to go, in terms of my goals, this is a lesson that, Matt, you need to really take the time to work on those stabilization muscles, to work on your core, to stretch out those muscles that are tired, to get yourself structurally aligned, because you have some pretty damn big goals, and you're not going to get there if you don't work on the foundation sort of things, like switching on your core properly. I thought I was turning it on properly, but I learned a lot from the specialist that it wasn't as properly as I thought. So you're going to learn some important lessons by asking yourself those questions, but then creating an action plan. Another thing that I learned from my business, from my business, is that I wasn't able to work for an entire week. So I asked myself, okay, what can I learn from this in terms of my business? And I learned that I really need to work on systemizing my business so I can step away from it and allow it to run by itself. And I've kind of done that, but just not 100% yet. So the next question I asked myself is, what do I need to do now? What can I put into action right now? And I said to myself, okay, I need to first find a specialist. So I called up a specialist, booked him in. I've been working with him, the third session right now, and I'm feeling 10 times better just from everything that he's showing me. And then I also learned in the business side of things that I need to find myself a new trainer, a sales manager. And just this morning, I've done that. Okay. So asking yourself those three questions and adopting that belief system that life is constantly happening for you. Whenever you feel a pain or an injury in your body, it is your body giving you a signal that something needs to change. You're not doing something correctly. And really taking the time to listen to your body. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you do have any comments or questions, please leave them below. And until I see you in the next video, remember to love all living things. And most importantly, love thyself.